Good evening, Warrior fans, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Warrior Cast. Tonight we are here at Mediapolis for varsity boys wrestling, or high school boys wrestling, I should say. I don't know if there will be any JV matches tonight. I am Michelle Wade, aside Mike Miller. Jeremy McLaughlin is out of town, I think, this weekend, he told me. So tonight, you get me, and I warned Mike on the way over that my knowledge of wrestling stops about at my nose. So I'm hoping he'll pick up the slack. But we are here for a double duel, I guess, tonight. We will take on, starting off with Notre Dame first, and then, well, maybe not. Now they've kind of changed here on me. So we'll see. We'll see what Coach Borison has to say. But, Mike, ready for this?
Yeah, okay. I'm excited. Second time watching the boys wrestle.
Yep.
And I thought we were breaking for the
I
anthem,
did too.
but
so here he's going to do the starting lineups. Okay.
Yeah, no, we have a fun group. They're some inexperience, and then we're really heavy with experience and other weights.
Right.
But overall, seems like a really good team. Pugh and Gill have them, ramped up the best that they can.
And I think it's fun to see, more than anything, just when I look at this lineup sheet here, there's only one open weight class, and then we also have like 3 or 4 in different weights to kind of fill that. I feel like sometimes you go to wrestling meets and it's this one's open, this one's open, this one's open, this one's open. But it looks like we've got a pretty good, like you said, a pretty good team this year. Some inexperience, but then some experience coming into that as well. So.
Yep. Yeah, there's not going to be a lot of buys.
Yep.
I know Pugh, if I talked with them the other day, and if, say it's a first-year wrestler that we have, and it's the defending state champion,
right.
and it's a wrestler that will go red line against our first-year wrestler, like that's just not a good.
Right.
It's just you're not trying to get anybody hurt. You're not trying to wound any pride. It's just a smart move sometimes.
Right, and you want them to come back and wrestle again. So you don't want to chase them away. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. So.
Yeah, we've got several first-year freshman wrestlers, first-year sophomores, so.
Huh? We should get that guy on. Kurt Leakty just walking up the steps here. We should get him on some night.
Yep. We're making a wrestling dad out of the Leakties.
That's right. That's right.
And Eichberg's.
Yes.
Sam's out this year, and so. Yep. So gives Brad another activity to attend.
As if he didn't have enough already, right?
Yep. Yeah. He's dad of the year.
He's everywhere. So Notre Dame, I'm assuming, will come in again with some pretty strong wrestlers. They always have. Coach Pleen has been at, Coach Bill Pleen has been at Notre Dame for, at least 5 years, not 6 now.
And Siegel.
Yeah, and Siegel. Yep, the two together. Longtime coaches, and actually Coach Pugh was a.
He's a product of that.
Yes, there
and
you go.
Gill.
Yes. Oh, and Gill.
Gill's a Junctionite.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep. I had his age off by about, I don't know, 6 years.
Did he call you out? Like, what,
no,
dude, come on.
I talked to the, so one of the guys that I work with, he knows Gill, pretty well. And so I was in the wrestling room the other day, and I said, Gill, are you like Ruben's age? Like 24? He goes, huh? No, I'm way older than that. And so I asked Ruben the next day that I work with, and he says, he's like, no, my older brother and Gill were the same class. That makes sense.
That's where it matches up, yes.
Yep.
I like that, though. That's a compliment. When I tell the kids how old I am, and they're like, really? I didn't think you were that old. I'm like, I like that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'd rather be considered young than old, so.
Well, I saw a meme today that was, remember Father of the Bride?
Yeah.
Steve Martin?
Yeah.
And, so the little meme was, in the 90s, these people were 45,
right.
And they're white hair and like, they just look old.
Yeah.
So.
I know I was watching a movie and they said he was 38 years old. I'm like, what? That's older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, full teams tonight, as you said, probably not a whole lot of buys. And I don't think Waco has faced Notre Dame yet this year. But I know they faced Mediapolis. Were they at Pekin the other night?
Yes.
Okay. So they've kind of got an idea what to expect out of them, but.
Yep.
Not a big
I know the Notre Dame team has a lot of DC Elite alumni or current roster kids, so they shuffle schools and open enroll and get to a private school so they can wrestle together. So they'll be.
And Coach Pleen has a reputation, I guess, a good reputation that he develops wrestlers really well. And I worked with Coach Pleen over at Wapello for a couple of years and just really enjoyed. He can be kind of intimidating, not gonna lie. I think if I would have been a student, I would have been really intimidated, but he just a great guy and a real heart for athletes and for making them better, and knows how to push them, and definitely what I would call a clinician. He likes the technique of it all. This will be the first to see Notre Dame tonight.
I could say the same about Siegel, because when I had a couple years at Winfield, and he was the elementary wrestling or the elementary PE teacher, and so Pew is our elementary PE teacher, and he's Pew, soft spoken and give a little talk, and Siegel would be. I was in 5th grade, and he would just scream at us and tell us that we were like lower than whale poop, and just always be just screaming all the time. And so it's like, oh,
okay.
He'd put the fear in you every day.
Which is amazing, because to look at him and to see him, he does not strike me as somebody that even talks. Coach Siegel,
he doesn't talk, he yells.
He yells. It's 0 to 100. Huh?
Exactly. Yeah. He'll be sitting down tonight, and hopefully you'll catch it, but he'll just scream like, "Hey, what you doing?" It's like Sylvester Stallone talking.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we will be for the national anthem. Yep. Right. So again, I'm not quite sure the order here tonight. I'm assuming we will wrestle first, maybe versus Notre Dame. We're on the benches over here, or the chairs over here, so I'm assuming we're first.
Usually it seems like the home team will wrestle first and last.
Okay.
And so they probably view Notre Dame as the tougher opponent.
Yep.
And so they'll want Mediapolis will wrestle us first, and then we'll wrestle Notre Dame, and then Notre Dame and
Mediapolis will take off.
So a little bit of a game. So then you get the tougher team wrestling back to back, and you get a break in between, and so.
Yep. I see the logic.
Yeah.
We would sometimes, when I was athletic directing, we would try to sometimes the team that was traveling the furthest wrestled first.
Yep.
But I would say for this is kind of a nice meeting ground between the two, and it's kind of got, nobody's really the furthest. I would say we're kind of equal distance. So, did he say JV game, JV matches?
Yeah,
did I hear that?
I'm guessing Sam Eichenberg looks like he had a JV match last week with a kid from Beepo.
Yep.
So.
And that's good when you've got some, because Sam is in the same weight classes as Loudenhausengay and Trey Bird are in there too. So that's good. That's a good chance to get them on the mat, but yet just see how it goes and not be thrown in there against, like you said, the the state returner kind of thing.
Yeah,
so.
it can be tough. But these two wrestled. I think Sam won last week.
Okay.
And it was a pretty good match. Sam's a first-year wrestler.
Yep.
Got a lot of height. Got long limbs. So, he's got better reach, but, it was a good match. I'm glad they did it.
He is tall. You mentioned that. And like Loudon's tall.
Yeah.
But I think about Gage Samo, who's not quite so tall, but very different weight classes. But, yeah, I think Sam's got the leverage on that. So it'll be a fun match to watch.
So like with height, so John, we noticed last week, John has long limbs for the weight that he wrestles.
John McLaughlin.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. But with with long limbs, sometimes you think you have like your elbow doesn't quite catch where you think it's going to catch, like in a half.
Okay.
Right? And so, or in a cradle, sometimes you leave another too much space in between. You don't have it locked up tight. So it's just a different element.
See, I'm learning this. This is good. This is a good conversation because this is stuff about wrestling that I don't know.
Yep.
My nephews are getting into wrestling. They're still in the elementary classes, but they're getting in. So my oldest nephew Garrison, I was out there this summer, and he put me on my back. I wasn't paying attention, so part of it he caught me off guard, but he's got it pretty quick. So now I can go out, and if I've learned something here tonight, I can have a good conversation with him about it. So I'm guessing that the Mediapolis wrestler will be Michael Rawling. I didn't hear a name said, but he's listed as 190, and that's what Sam is listed, so I'm assuming they'll match those two up.
It looks like Michael probably weighed in 175, and maybe they bumped, so maybe for varsity, he's at 190, and maybe they, it makes more sense to let him wrestle Sam than Loudon, right? For the same reasons. Loudon's gonna wrestle a little different. So here we go, Sam Eichelberger. So even there, just when you get more comfortable, you start changing levels, right?
Get down and shoot his feet. You mean kind of levels that you're talking?
Yeah, just. Like Sam, he's a little like there. He knows the sprawl, so now he's trying to stuff the head, get his leg free, get around. Yep. And so that's what Pew's screaming, I'm sure. Yeah. Stuff the head, get a crossface in, get your leg free. Now spin right now.
There you go.
Yep. So now he needs to cover the hips, just like that. So there he's got a reversal. So Sam's got points.
What do you like?
Or
quick
it might
lead.
have just been the takedown because I don't think the other wrestler didn't have control.
Okay.
So when the other wrestler made a shot, but he was stuck underneath, and so he didn't have control. So he didn't get the 2 points.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And I really like this too. So this official is taking a moment to explain some things, especially some of these young guys. I think these kids that come up through the Pee Wee leagues, they have a lot of experience. They have these conversations. But if he's new to wrestling, I think it's great that these officials take time and make sure they understand what it is that they're supposed to be doing or not doing, so to speak.
Yep. And even then, there you go, Sam.
Nice.
Trying to get it. Needs to break him back to his belly first. But even there, Sam, the ref gave him a little bit more leeway before he blew the whistle. A lot of times it's bottom guy set, top guy cover, and then blow the whistle.
Yep.
Like there, he was like, okay, he's kind of waiting for him to get his hand right, where normally it's much more, much more is expected.
Right.
So yeah, I like it. I like this ref.
I don't know his name.
I don't either.
It's not familiar to me, but that's okay.
What do we got?
Oh, just a little redirection for the coach.
I think he wants him in the corner and not shouting from
all over. Yep. Which I like these corner mats that they have. Those are handy.
Yeah, I
with
like
the green and the red.
Well, it just, Okay, so.
So there he's got a little. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So his hand should be on the belly button.
Okay. Okay.
Or like, I would always aim for like the tip of my middle finger.
Okay.
But he's got a illegal. Probably had a full Nelson then.
So the point goes to Mediapolis.
Yep. And that's just from Sam not knowing what to do with his other hand.
Right.
You know? So it wasn't intentional. He wasn't trying to hurt him, anything like that. There he goes.
Okay. And Sam's had really good control, I feel like. You know, he's able to keep his opponent down for the most part.
Yep.
There, let him out, but.
Yep, and he did a good job of not locking his hands as the Meepo kid was trying to scramble.
Which I think would be an easy tendency to go, oh, I gotta lock him up here and keep him in here.
Yep. So this is just where Sam needs to learn a move that he feels comfortable with. And so like there, it's a double leg, but he left his elbows out. And so
you lock those in and give
you got to clear.
space.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught on the way in. So that's tough. You know, we gave up 2 points right at the end of the period, but again, he's just learning.
So is it? I'm not gonna say tradition, but I can't think of the word that I really want there. To have that move that you're like, that's the one I know. I can go to that every time. I can get that every time. Or that's a move that I'm really good at. Is it common for a wrestler to have that?
Yeah, I think so. You just want to be comfortable, you know? And so, whatever it is, if it's an outside single, if it's a double leg, it might be a duck under, you know. Andrew Fink had the takedown record for Waco for a long time with a drag, like this.
Just drag him right down.
Yeah, well, it's like you just kind of grab him by the elbow and you just kind of you just pull him towards you and you like block the toe and you literally drag him to the ground and you just kind of hop on top. But it's a silly move. It's not like a power wrestling move, you know. But it's
he was efficient with it. Yeah,
it's fun. So
Sam did a good job getting out of that. The Mediapolis wrestler kind of got him back on his heels a little bit and down to the mat, but he turned around on it.
Yep. So Sam, he just needs to learn the distance. You know, the two shots that last shot, he was just a little too far away. But he'll get it.
Yep.
You know.
And just being aggressive with it, being more comfortable and being more aggressive.
Yep.
Mediapolis does lead now 4-2, and we're just under a minute here in the second period. They didn't change the thing, but I'm pretty sure it's the second period.
Yep. So Sam's power is, if he gets a little more squatty, but he's tall, right?
Yeah, right. He's trying to, it seems like he's trying to snap him a little bit, trying to snap his elbows out.
Yeah, Pew gave him that instruction after the first. So
that's good. And good for Sam
right there. So he's driving.
There you go. Yeah. Nice.
So there he hit his move, and he was able to drag through. He's pinned.
Yeah, there he goes.
Good job, Sam. Congratulations, young man.
And good to take that advantage when he had it and take him down. So
yeah. So Sam, he's making that move. That's his move, right? So it looks like a double leg. He's about, a couple inches too far. The ref still had the COVID mind.
That's right.
But yeah, he got it, and he didn't stop. So that's really, that was great. Good job.
So next on the mat, another senior Trake Bird, and I'm not sure this isn't Trake's first year too.
I think it is. I think he's been the manager.
Okay, so he's been a part of it, just not necessarily in the thick of it. I'm not sure though who the Mediapolis wrestler is. Maybe Brody Minster at 215 if they bump Trake up a little bit.
Yeah, probably. Yep.
I was hoping maybe they put it up on the scoreboard, but I haven't seen it yet. Sometimes you can put their weight on that where the fouls are for basketball. You can put the weight up. So,
yeah, it looks like they're. So, are you familiar with track wrestling?
Probably a little bit more familiar than I wanted to be.
Yep.
I ever thought I needed to be in my life, but run and wrestling meets over at Wapello, and the guy that basically, I'm gonna say invented track wrestling. His filing system that the state used for a long time. Irv Meyer, he passed away last winter. Actually, right about this time, he was a longtime FFA teacher at Wapello and very, very good with FileMaker and had this system. And I think track has kind of since developed something similar to that. But he knew track wrestling like the back of his hand, and so he taught me kind of as a
apprentice.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be good on it now, but I think it's a good program.
Yep.
But there's a little sometimes where it feels like it. If they're not right there, it kind of slows them down a little bit.
Yep. So he's the Yoda.
He's the Yoda. He was the Yoda.
Of wrestling technology.
He was the Yoda. Yes.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yoda, Southeast Iowa. Did he talk backwards too?
Sometimes it felt like he was when he was talking about track wrestling. I'm like, what? No, he was. Irv Meyer was a great guy. If you got to know Irv, you were count yourself lucky. So
good.
I'm not sure what we're going to do this year without him at wrestling meets, but I think Lori Beanon will do a good job too. So
Trake's in a bad
a little bit
spot
of trouble here.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it looks like the other guy had a front headlock on him, and so if Trake can just keep scooting and just keep fighting, got a minute to go.
Keep leaning.
There we go. Good job. That was good job, young man.
I'd be interested to know. He looks really good. Trake does. Really thin.
Yep.
I'd be interested to know how much weight he's cut to be wrestling now.
Yeah.
I don't know what he started out as.
Yep. Well, wrestling's a pretty good weight loss program. So that's pretty tight, but if he can get, he can't quite get to his neck.
Got him. Yep. He battled all the way through.
Yeah.
He did.
Good fight.
Yeah.
And good for him for coming out as a senior. You know?
Yep.
He's been, like you said, he's been in the program. And
when he went out for football, I don't think he'd gone out for football, at least not last year. So he was back out this year for football if he'd been out before. And so, and I think that's the hard part, though, is when you're taking your lumps. But Mediapolis always has a strong wrestling program. And so,
yes, they do.
It's just a little meeting in the middle here because we'll get started with varsity.
Coaches or captains.
Coach Zane out there now.
Yep.
And I really like that we have two officials. I know one official can do it. There's just something about having the two officials to rotate and go through. And hopefully sometimes they're out there even together. Just because I think you can see different angles of things in a different position. So, again, I don't know either of these gentlemen's names, but it's good to see him out there.
I reffed at the Pee Wee tournament on Black Friday. And man, you need a break because you're it's just a blur, and sometimes it's like you forget what period it is, or you forget, there'd be kids that would have on like gray and red singlets, and then you'd slap the mat for a pin, and then like there was times we'd walk back to the mat and I could not remember which one won. And so
do I have to tell you which one is this?
You kind of scan the dads if they're
who's excited and who's not.
And then you kind of like, okay, shake hands. Yeah. And then one kid would just raise their hand. You're like, oh, you're the winner.
Hopefully they know.
They knew. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. Just dupe him a little bit. He's not gonna know. Just raise your hand.
Yep. But if you slap the mat and if you don't see, okay, red one, like you just
right. And that's where I'm surprised. Like they put the brace on the thing on the ankle. Yep. But if you're at the other end, you're right. You don't know who. You have to keep that a little bit straight. So
and legs get intertwined, and
especially the Pee Wee where they're not wearing necessarily
not team colors
yep. or
like in the time it happened, they were both wearing like gray and red, like camouflage singlets.
Yeah. You're like that one.
Yeah.
I think.
So it looks like we're starting.
So Kale is up first.
Yep, Kale Warren. So
157, start at 157?
Yep. So last week I I think it was during the meet I asked Pew, I said, where'd this Kale come from? And he's like, I don't know. And so I talked with Kale after I went to one of the practices, and I was just talking with some of the kids, and I was like, hey, where'd you move from? He's like, Washington.
Yeah.
So, big move, huh?
And I think his name has since changed to Zweer. So I'm not sure who his parents are necessarily, but I think there we go. He got himself out of that one. So, yeah. But I've had Kale in my class this year, and he's just a really good kid, and has kind of just fit right into the fold of Waco. Good. So, yeah.
Well, I think it's an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
He just said that, there's a lot of fights, where they're at. So
good change for him. And
good change.
He seems to have adjusted. So So out of bounds on that one. They'll back to upright. What do they call that? Back to center?
Neutral.
Neutral. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
So Kale's trying for like that cross-leg single, but it looks like he's going for the other kid's back foot when he does it, you know. So that's just something to, if either that's his, like maybe these two kids' styles clash, you know. So, but Kale's fighting. He is. He's not in a great position. Oh, the other kid's got a cradle walked up. So we can kick for another 40 seconds.
Yeah, keep rolling it. So 3 back points he's given to the green.
So, yeah, he kind of had a bad grip there. So,
so it's kind of.
So good for Kale.
Yeah, so 3 back points to Mediapolis. We'll give them a 5-0 lead here in this first period.
So if Kale can put his hand down, then that's considered locked hands. You know, so
if he puts his hand down on his hand or on the mat.
So as he's getting drug around there, just pause and now he's considered down, and so you can kind of play that game.
Yeah.
You know.
So some of that strategy that maybe just hasn't had a chance to learn yet.
Yep. So Nipa's trying for 6 seconds left, trying for a half.
Got his ankle there.
There we go. Escape with the whistle.
So survives it.
So we
Coach
missed
Stern
out.
in front wanting a 1 for escape here for us, but it doesn't sound like the ref is going to give it to him.
Yep, just a little too much whistle or buzzer going off. Kale's a strong kid.
He is. He is. And I think he enjoys being in the weight room.
Kind of like so. Yeah.
Kind of like those seniors last year. He enjoys being in there and working.
Well, Caden and Gage are in there all the time. You know, Loudon's. We got a lot of strength on the team.
Yep.
So here we're in kind of a dangerous, tricky spot.
Kind of a weird little stalemate almost.
Yeah,
there we go.
Both kind of had a headlocks and there we go. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. If you can get a little separation. Nipa crowd wants it done, but it's not. He keeps getting.
He's got one blade up, right? Got the both shoulder blades down?
Yep. Both shoulder blades. So a minute left. Hopefully he can keep fighting.
There, got it. Yeah. It's a good match, though, and you know.
That's a dangerous spot, you know, where you're up high and you know that.
So would you say, I mean, because Kale was up there too high.
Yep.
Do you think his goal was to try to do that exact same move?
They were both
to that
looking
kid?
for the same throw.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's tricky.
And I think wrestling is one of the unique sports in that it's very much a solitary thing that affects a team. Like you can qualify for state by yourself without your team. So it's just you out on the mat. You know, whereas basketball, football, soccer, whatever, they have however many other players out there with them.
Yep.
But it's just you on this mat fighting for everything you've got. So.
Yeah. So really I think the difference is team-wise is so Loudon, not Loudon, Jonah, right?
Yes.
So Jonah lost state finals to Don Bosco, right? Jonah's a better wrestler than that kid. But Don Bosco has a better wrestling room than we do.
Program,
like a better,
just the people in the room.
Their level of wrestlers is just higher than ours. So that kid had better wrestling partners than Jonah, and I think that's where the team comes in.
Right. In the room more than anything. Yep. Oh, and a quick one for Silas there, but Silas again, kind of a newcomer, I think. I don't know if he wrestled junior high last year, but a freshman, and so
got tossed in kind of a bad spot there.
Yeah, and at 165 wrestling Kyler Crow. I'm assuming the Crow kid would have some experience on the mat.
Yep, I think. So this is a good move here. So Brock dinged up his knee last week. Yep. And he says he's good to go. So Brock's a good wrestler, so we need him.
And Brock's grown up in wrestling. I mean,
for sure.
Coach Stern, I think they've been in the room their whole lives.
Yep. His little sister's tough.
Yeah. And I think the disadvantage for Brock is maybe his height. The guy beside that he's wrestling maybe has a little bit more height to him.
Yep. Brock's in a tough stage. You know, he's got some extra pounds that he could lose, but he's he's young, so he's he's probably getting ready for a growth spurt, and then he'll stretch out. So, but it's a tough, he's in a higher class than what he could be, but his body puts him in that class.
And he'll grow into it, I think.
He will.
He's another one. He likes to be in the weight room with the kids. He's in there.
Yep, so Brock's got taken down, he's wrestling tough, but kind of got stuck.
So I think who he's wrestling, I think actually is a Houndstein.
Okay.
I think it'd be a grandson to Bob Houndstein. His dad is Kyle Houndstein, so I think that's who it is.
Yep.
And Kyle's been wrestling for a long time too. Or not Kyle, I'm sorry, Caden.
Caden, yep. Good athletes on the Houndstein side.
Oh yeah. Bob Houndstein, a 73 graduate of Waco High School. And Brock's fighting. He's got it. 28 seconds. Mediapolis with a quick 5-0 lead here. I like it when the ref gets down there. Get that angle. They want to see it.
Yep.
There, he's got him. Yep. So Brock fought hard, but like you said, maybe a little bit out strength for the weight class that he's in, but he fought hard in there, and another one that's a freshman, and he takes his victories, I think, when he can get them.
Yeah, for sure. So,
and again, I'm just glad to see that we don't have an open weight class, that we can put somebody there to give him a challenge,
Yep, I am too. Don't give up the cheap points.
So they bumped up. It looks like Branson Mosley is listed as 175, but bumped him up to the 190. And he'll take on Loudon Housingay, checking in over there now.
Which works out fine for us, because Loudon isn't, he's not cutting weight to make 190.
No.
So.
And Loudon, though, I'm anxious to see. He was not feeling well yesterday, so we'll see how he does here.
Yep. You said that had some kids that were a little under the weather.
Yep. 'Tis the season, right?
Yeah, for sure. So if Loudon's not feeling good, it might just be, let's just get this done.
Yeah.
Let's, not
don't mess
a
around.
cat playing with a mouse. Let's just.
Yeah. And Loudon give him a chance to work on some things maybe if he wants to. So early 1-point lead, 2-point lead for Loudon. I'm sorry, 2-1. Now 4-1.
Yep. Loudon's, he's just so smooth on his takedowns.
Yeah. And there, I think, trying to just work some things, see what he's got, give him the up.
Yeah, last week he took him down several times, and then when the time arose to just pin him, that's what he did. So I imagine that's what.
Do again.
Yep. So 2 quick takedowns, but Loudon doesn't want to get pinned. He doesn't want to get. So there's some back points.
Got that leg hooked up under there.
Yep. So he's gonna,
Oh, headgear came off. So. Yep. So 11-3 is the lead for Loudon here.
Sometimes headgear can be problematic, if the kid doesn't.
It's got to be on your chin, right? It's not under your chin. It's on your chin. It's like a chin strap for football, really. And
some of them are under the chin, but
under.
Yeah.
I think that would drive me nuts. Under your chin. If they get you in a weird position and it's kind of pulling, I think that would be tough to get out of. But Loudon obviously has been a state qualifier for all 3 years. Did he qualify as a freshman? I can't remember. He's at least been there twice.
I think he did.
And you're right. He's just fun to watch because he's so smooth with his takedown.
Yep. He's just a good athlete.
Yes. And has his signature moves that he likes and what works for him.
And he's comfortable. He's been on the mat a long time.
Yep.
So he's fun to watch.
Very good. Take a moment and thank our sponsors as we wait for the headgear to come back here. Wayland Veterinary Clinic, Reschley Construction Corporation, Reichenbach Painting, Ashley's Grooming and Boarding, Eichelberger Farms, as we mentioned, Sam's dad. I can't think of his Brad.
Brad.
Yes. Cornerstone Excavating, Graber Electric, Waco Youth Association, Agriway Partners, 321 Trucking. We'll be back at it here, so we'll come back to our sponsors. But without them, this would not be possible. So we thank them for their contributions and their participation in the Warrior Cast. So under a minute here for Loudon. Mediapolis with a commanding 18-0 lead. So hopefully Loudon can maybe get some points. So up 11-3 right now.
Okay, so Loudon's got a chicken wing, and now he's getting a half.
Try to get him over on his.
Now he's going to get pinned.
Can you pin somebody in that position?
Oh, yeah. So it's like stacked up.
Okay, and he did.
He literally is on he's resting on his head. His head is a kickstand.
Okay.
And think of his shoulders as a tire.
Okay.
Right? So, like,
yeah, and he did it. He did it.
It's not a comfortable spot.
I would think not either.
Especially with both arms, neither,
And all you can do is swing your legs, right?
Yeah, just bicycle kick.
So Loudon puts Waco on the board against Mediapolis here, 18-6 for the pin. At 2:15 now, it'll be Thomas Unterneer.
I spent some time with Thomas in the room the other day. It was fun wrestling with him.
And Thomas wrestled last year, I think, as an 8th grader, but I don't know if he did as a 7th grader. So
I don't think so, yeah.
But I think he's kind of built more for wrestling.
Oh, for sure.
And I think for him, it'll help him in football.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It helps in everything. He asked me, the other day, he was like, how can I be more explosive? I was like, in what position?
Right. Which one are we talking about here?
Yeah. But, so that shows you that he's, he's not a freshman that knows it all. He's a freshman that's trying to seek advice, get help. So yeah, I was impressed. I like working with him. And Gil does a great job, but it, gives Gil a chance to walk around and coach.
Right. And gives these guys somebody else to see then, too.
Sure,
that they're not just facing their own guys. Like you said, as the, in the room, the teammates in the room to push him a little bit more. So Thomas obviously.
It takes a lot of mat time, even there was a time I was wrestling a Columbus kid, and I was so comfortable in you do the tie-ups, that's normal, and then I didn't like to tie up, so I like to be out. But then all of a sudden, the wrestler had me in like this underhook, where he's just like cranking my one side up, and I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like what is this? What is this? What is this? Yeah.
How do I get out of this?
So it just takes a lot of situational stuff. So
on the mat is John Stoffer. Yep.
Come on. Oh, there we go. Yep. Got to hang on to that.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going.
So he pinned him last time.
He's got 2 back points there, or takedown.
Takedown. Here's back points.
Yeah, when they start counting, right? That's the back points.
Count for back points.
There we go. There we go.
So the back has to break 90 degrees.
Gotta lean back.
So they're yelling to grab the elbow, and he doesn't quite hear him.
Oh.
But he is about
He's looking
stuck.
at him, but.
Yep. So if he lets go of that wrist and grabs the elbow, he's got more control.
A little bit more leverage just on the guy.
Yep. We got a minute to go, so.
You're going to have to hold him there.
Yep. So don't get too high, because you don't want to get rolled over.
Yep. Which is what he's trying to do. It looks like he's trying to get his hand on his back and push him the other direction.
Yep.
There we got him.
Good job.
There.
And I wouldn't be surprised if John doesn't ask for a bro hug here.
That does seem like John's MO.
Yep, here it comes.
Yep, there it goes. Yep. John, probably the sweetest guy in the world. So.
Oh my gosh.
John Stopper.
The last 2 times we watched him last week, and each time he's like, hey man, you okay? Are you okay? Can we hug it out? It's like.
And John fairly new to the wrestling mat too.
I think
he wrestle
so.
Last year? I don't
think so. But again, nicest guy in the gym.
And now Coach P telling him just exactly that. Hey, if you let go of the wrist, grab under the elbow, you got a little bit more leverage on
There
him.
we go. Yep. He's reaching the hands.
Coach P is such a teacher coach.
He's my son's favorite, person, I think.
So a quick 2 on Hagen Pearson here as a first year wrestler. I don't know if he's first year wrestler, but he's a freshman. So
freshman.
Facing off against Tanner Anderson.
So we got to get that wrist free, obviously. Don't go to your back.
There's that crank on the arm as you talked about a little bit.
Yep. So he's got the far wrist caught, and so that's in the tough,
So he's lost control of that one. Yep. There he let it go.
Yep. So, yeah, just got to keep fighting. You got a bridge, get a strong neck.
There you got him.
Yep.
And as we said, Hagen just pretty new to the wrestling scene, so to speak. And so I think as he gets more comfortable and more experience on him.
Yep.
And maybe a little bit more muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an overly big guy, so.
I don't think he's cutting weight to get to 106.
I don't think so either.
So
he might be eating a lot to get to 106.
Aaron Leakey, when he was in school, he could have.
Yes.
I think till his senior year, he could still have a couple rolls of quarters in his pockets.
Yeah, he was the lightest guy in the world, I think.
Yep. So here's Gage. Gage is just a solid wrestler, of course.
Spent a lot of time on a mat.
Yep, got that quick takedown.
We're at the 113
there we
mark.
go.
So
that was a slick move. That's odd to be able to shoot in low like that and catch both feet. So.
And the kid that he's wrestling is probably pretty young too. I don't know if he's a freshman, but freshman or sophomore, younger kid. And Gage, as we said, is just a ton of experience and
he's tough, So.
And another state qualifier. He's been to the state tournament a couple times too. So.
Yep. And he wrestles with aggression.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
So got the cradle locked up.
Yep.
So probably get the knee in the side. See his right knee is
up underneath.
Yep. Hopefully he gets that right in the other guy's waistband. And then you see how his forehead is in. So there's trapping the other leg.
Control that leg. Yep.
Yeah, that's.
So there he didn't quite get it. Was he just out of position a little bit? Like you said, the elbow sometimes.
Sometimes sometimes in cradles your arm can keep the kid from getting pinned.
Right. But where it's at on his back. Yep.
Yeah. And guys this size, it's not like a heavyweight that has enough skin to touch the ground.
Right. So 9-2 the lead for Gage. Just under 30 seconds, or just over 30 seconds here. Excuse me.
There's a good
Try it
cradle,
again. Yep.
30 seconds.
And even knowing where he's at on the mat to stay enough in bounds so he doesn't get called for out there. He swings him around.
So there, he loosened it up a little bit.
Yep. Slid himself out.
I think he's stuck, but I don't know what he's. So now he kicked to get on top of Gage's leg, which
puts him out of the position to be able to get.
But I think he was stuck. I think he was stuck before that. But.
So 2 seconds. Gage will just control this and ride it out here. So 14-3. What's a major decision?
16.
Or tech fall. I mean. 16.
Yep.
Okay. So Gage is going to defer. He won the toss there on that one, so he's going to defer. And I think Miller. Oh no, he did. Says I want to be up. Thought maybe he was going to call neutral there. Mediapolis leading 30-12 here at the 113 weight class. Quick reversal for Gage gives him 16-3 lead. Looks like he's going to try to go to it again. Got that arm locked up on the right side here.
Oh, so yeah, so he's got a chicken
wing. Okay.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't really know what it's called. I just.
So that's a cradle that is like he's trying to pull himself down to get it.
Kind of roll it over in a sense.
Yep.
There he's back into it.
Right there, he should be. Instead of counting back points, he should be looking
for the pin.
Yep. 15 points.
Yep. Okay. So the difference 18-3. That'll be the technical fall that we were looking for. So Gage Samo will get another strong performance for him. Weight go back into 30-17. So when they get a tech fall, so when they get a pin, it's 6 points. When they get a tech fall like that, is it 3?
No, I think it's.
I don't remember.
So 3 is just a win.
Okay.
And then you can have a major decision, and then a tech fall.
Okay.
So.
And those are all different values
points
within that.
Yep.
Okay. So if it's a forfeit, like an open class, and we don't have anybody, so
6.
Which is like this.
Yep.
So at the 120 we're open, so they'll get 6 again for that. I've got the hiccups. My mom would say I'm growing.
Jen had the hiccups the other day, and I tried to scare her, and it didn't work.
Mrs. Leakty would say, I'll give you a nickel if you can do it again.
So here's John. And John had some success last week against Mediapolis.
Okay. James Garrison, is that?
Yep.
James Garrison.
But he got, this is the wrestler that I was thinking of with the long arms, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah, his legs and his arms are long.
He fits a good weight class, because he's really strong and he's long, but sometimes that length gets you, like sometimes, like I said, like your elbow doesn't go quite fit behind the, like in the back of the creak in the back of the head, or whatever, back of the neck. So sometimes,
or at least too much, and it's
it's just too much.
Yep.
So you gotta get a feel for it. And so like and kids, their bodies grow every year. You know, so.
Sometimes I think it grows every week.
I think so too.
Like, were you this tall last week when you were in my class?
Yeah, we have one of those measuring, charts in our kitchen, and so randomly I'll look at Griff and be like, "Let's go check."
Right. It feels like you've gotten taller.
Yep.
So that whistle blow it dead, just kind of like stalemate essentially.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Now they need a time to make sure they get that. As you said, that track wrestling, it's a good program, and when you've got somebody that really knows it really well, it's an awesome program. But if there's things that are new or maybe they've moved it, updates sometimes rearrange it. So
yeah, exactly.
So they got to figure out what that is, where that's going. So
the buttons.
Yep. Again, Mediapolis with a lead, 36-17. No score here in this 126 match with John McLaughlin facing off against James Garrison. And as you said, they've met each other last week.
Yep.
Okay.
John had one loss. So we had Pekin, Van Buren, and Mediapolis.
Okay.
And I don't remember which kid he lost to, and he was controlling the match, but he just, they just had a weird, not tumble, but like a scramble.
Yep.
And John just kind of caught the the bad side of it.
Right.
So.
I think that happens. You sometimes get this. Something, you're fighting for your life in a sense to get out of this, hold or this position, and you do, and then it's all of a sudden, then it suddenly flips without much warning to the next guy that. Thank you for doing that. Now you're in a perfect position for me to pin you, kind of thing. So. Yeah,
and that's the kicker. It's not basketball where you're on offense one side of the floor and you're on defense the other side. Like you're,
Right. It's constant.
Yeah. Like chess.
Right.
You're playing defense and offense at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of sports where your opponent and you are trying to do the same thing.
Right. Right. Looks like they're back at it, so they got it figured out here. John stays low. I feel like he's like that crouch you talked about with Sam.
Yep.
He's got that crouch. He's got it figured out, touching the mat.
Yep. He does a good job of changing levels. He's been in a room a long time, too. So usually, there you go. Okay, so just can't stop under there. That's the...
Keep pushing forward.
Yep. But he knows that.
Yep.
So
he's kind of got his head in a weird position.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep.
They're able to get out of it. John get the 2 points.
Yep. Does a good job of finishing it.
Yep.
So he's got 20 seconds left. I think he just looked up to see the clock. So now he's got a leg in. So now he wants to break him flat.
Control him. So when they're on the ground like that, so his hands kind of look like locked, but that's not considered locked. That's just.
So you can do it in a pinning combination.
Okay.
So if the person stands up and you're behind them, you can have locked hands because you're trying to do a mat return.
Okay. Because you're trying to keep them.
Yep. Because they're considered up. But then, as soon as they're considered back down, which is another limb is on the ground, now they're a down wrestler, and so you can't have locked hands around their waist.
Okay.
And so, or anywhere, you can't be around the you just can't. You can't like
Locked
this is still locked hands where you're just touching.
Okay.
But then when you get them into a pinning combination, you can. Yeah, like you can go with. There's a lot of variations.
When you're trying to keep that control. So touching the fingers just even is considered locked hands. Okay.
Yep.
So he survives the first period with a 2-0 lead here.
Yep.
Into the second one.
Chose neutral.
Okay. He did or
I didn't see. I didn't catch it. So now they're just looking for, like, say he wants to get that left leg, right? Or so now he's going to step ahead and try to get around, or just like that. So you're just looking for like whatever indicator. So whatever leg you want to go for, you just wait for it to touch the ground to get weight on it. You know, because
then hop on.
Then hop on. Yep. Because so if they're shuffling back and forth, and you want the left leg, you wait for that left toe to touch.
Right.
Because now you know that toe is going to get heavy. You know, they're going to put weight on it.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
man, I'm going to walk out of here like wrestling expert.
so earlier when Sam was shooting in from a distance, it's like he just so John's arms are long. So there you got settled back in right there.
Looks like he's kind of got control of that wrist.
I think he's got the
on the left side.
Yeah.
Or the right side there. He's got the right side.
Yep. So if he can just lift up on the head.
There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
Good job.
So get that head up off the mat so his shoulders have to go down. Yep. That makes sense.
You just got to crank the head.
Yep. So John with the pin makes it 36-23. Mediapolis still with the lead here. But a good outing for McLaughlin on that one.
Yep. He's been wrestling good.
Yeah. So that was 126. So now we're at 132. They switched the weight on me here too fast. So and Caden Leakty here. I think this is his first year wrestling.
This is, yep.
He didn't wrestle as a freshman.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. And he's a junior.
Yes, he's a junior. Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know who talked him into doing it, but
well, he's pretty big buddies with Loudon and Gage and all those guys.
Okay.
So
yep. And he's strong. He's been in the weight room.
Yep.
You know, so this is a good fit for him. It just took him a while for his buddies to talk him into it. You know.
And he's not overly tall. Like to me, like to play basketball, he's not. If he's 6 foot, it's maybe just barely.
Yeah.
So this maybe is a little bit more. Hey, you can get some
this is where
advantage here.
Yeah, exactly. So there he's just got a sprawl, and you know, this is where. So last week, Caden had a match with a kid that was real close to his experience level, and he got the pin.
Yep.
And then wrestled this Keller kid.
Yep.
And
which the Kellers, they're kind of a wrestling
it's
family.
a known name. So.
And unfortunately for Caden, he's just going to have to adjust quickly and learn quickly too, which I think he will.
Yeah, he will. I'm sure he's a smart kid.
I don't know if it was you that said it in the last broadcast or Jeremy, but Kurt was a wrestler growing up.
I don't think so.
He wasn't?
No.
I thought somebody said he was. Okay.
No. So, but I did say that. So, when Kurt was in school, like he was always on the smaller side, and then as soon as he went to Iowa State, came back, he was.
It's like, whoa, where'd that
full
come?
grown, yeah. So
yeah.
And I imagine Caden will be the same. Like, you know, he just hasn't hit that spurt yet.
Yep.
You know, his cousin
Tucker.
West.
Oh, Nick.
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 Yep. You know, Nick's not done growing.
Yep.
And so if he's got those same, you know, cousin genes that maybe after the freshman year in school will pop right up.
Yep.
So again, you know, the kids just grow at different levels every year.
On the mat now is Deacon Bird. He's a junior as well at 138. He's up against Ben Gerst. Oh, had him up off the ground there altogether. I was going to say they're out of bounds.
Yep. So Deacon's a solid wrestler. I'm not sure what how many years he's got in. You know, so he's at a weight where that matters. You know.
Yep. Or I think he wrestled last year, but I don't know how much experience on the mat he had. Oh, is that a crossface?
Yep, that's a crossface.
I think that would just make me mad if he did that to me.
It does not feel good if they do it with some aggression.
Well, which that kind of looked aggressive.
Yep. So there he looks like he's more choking him. He's got it low, but
under his chin, so kind of got it up.
Chin.
Yep. So controlling the head on that one. Got the forearm on the back of the head.
So it looks like he was trying to get a chicken wing, like grab him by the elbow.
Mm-hmm.
But Deacon fought it off, and it looks like he's got a cradle locked up, and it looks like Deacon's pretty square down there.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So we should be at 144.
Yep, Lane Bachman.
Lane's another one I've not seen a lot of experience with, but
so Lane's an example of this new rule that you can have facial hair.
Oh.
So
is that an advantage or disadvantage?
I would not want to do it, but yeah, with a goatee,
right?
Right. Yeah, the clean-shaven days are apparently over. I wouldn't want long hair. I wouldn't.
No.
I see the Pee-wee girls, or in our varsity girls with long hair, and it's like, ugh, that's attached.
Well, there for a while you had to have a cap or something, right?
Like a Speedo cap, yeah.
Kind of something over.
Yeah, which I think would be better. You know? I mean,
right.
I'm sure it's not comfortable.
No, especially then with the headgear on top of that. But
I would think it'd be a necessary evil, though.
Right. Yeah.
So looks like Lane's in a predicament here.
Yep.
Had it by the elbow and a wing. So that's a.
It's kind of like the one that Loudon got his pin in.
Yep.
Kind of put him just right on that shoulder blades.
Yep. So we got Trey Eaker coming out.
Oh, good. I kind of was giving him a hard time today. I said, hey, I thought you weren't going to wrestle this year. He goes, well. I was like, yeah, they talked you into it, didn't they? But I think Trey, he's got some fight in him too.
Yeah, he does.
He's definitely one that I feel like has grown up a little, taller. He's gotten taller. In the past year, I had him as a freshman, and now as a sophomore, it's like, whoa, you're like
way
6 inches taller here.
Yep.
And stronger.
Yep. Yeah, the weight room's a block from his house.
Yeah. And I think he would live at the weight room if he had the choice. According to Chad, he'd be there all the time. So
it's good defense out of Trey.
Mm-hmm. I could see Trey being very technical as well.
Yep.
Oh. Just dropped right in there and grabbed that ankle on him.
Yep, on the whistle.
Mm-hmm. Joey Glendenning, which a Glendenning is, that's a big wrestling name too. Yep. So Trey says, I think I'm bleeding here.
Trey had some blood. Yep. He knew it right away too.
Yep. Trey's kind of. He strikes me as the kind that would be a very technical wrestler. He'd want to know the exact technique.
Yep.
To get him what he needed out of it.
This is shameful, but I haven't spent a lot of time with Trey since our kids went to Sherry's together.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You could tell me a lot of things. I know he's a good kid, but I don't. I just don't.
He's not around him as much.
Our paths don't cross.
Yep. And that happened. Yep. So check for blood on both wrestlers when you're that tight in.
Yep.
So I have to say, when they jam those nose plugs up into his nose, I don't know how you would be able to think, let alone wrestle with one of those things in your nose.
We talked about it last week too, that this is my least favorite thing, or one of my least favorite things is about wrestling, because they jam those things up there and then it never fails, especially if the kid knows how to play the game.
Right.
But as he's getting taken down, oops, the blood comes out again.
Right.
Or
right. Like, I was right in the right place.
Oh
there.
yeah, what happened? And so, but even if that's not the case and the kid isn't looking for an advantage, it just seems like once that blood time happens now for a nose, it's gonna happen again.
Keeps going.
Yeah. It just because it just can't stay in there, and you can't tape the kid's nose shut.
Right. Be a little bit of a disadvantage for the for the wrestler. I will say, blood is one of those things. I tell my kids in class, if you're bleeding, just get out of my class, because I cannot handle that. I'm not. I said blood and vomit. Like, if you're throwing up in the trash can, you better move over, because I'm coming to join you. Like, very much a sympathy vomiter. So watching the blood, I'm like, take care of that. I'm going to be up here. I would always tell my trainer that at Wapple. I'm like, listen.
I can't help you.
Anything blood related, I'm out. I'm gone. I'm down the hall. She's like, all right, good to know. Trainer tonight from Jet Therapy too.
Oh, so, yeah, there we go.
Jet Therapy, one of our sponsors for the Warrior Cast.
I used to deer hunt with a guy that would, if the guts would get shot, right?
Yeah.
So just the smell of it from,
Yep.
From-
And that's what gets me is the smell.
Yeah, but he would just start dry heaving. Even if if it was across the gym, like not even in the vicinity, just catch a whiff. Even if he just knew it happened. Like,
but there could be a smell. There could be a smell.
Yeah, just start dry heaving.
Yep. Looks like we're going to be back at it here. Mediapolis with a 2-0 lead over Trey at 1:44. Again, he's wrestling Joey Glendenning. And Glendenning, a very popular. I feel like there's been Glendennings for decades.
Yep, I'm sure there have been. So Trey got the escape.
Yep. And it's really fun to see the girls. Girls wrestling team here tonight. They're not wrestling tonight, obviously, in this match, but here to support and lend their voice.
I liked it when they were wrestling together.
Yeah. Yep.
But girls wrestling has grown so much that Jeremy said last week that they go to like these mega meets.
Yes.
And because the teams are growing, but they're not full. And so you can't have a really good duel with girls of the same weight. So it's, I guess what makes sense is to go to like these 12 team like mega tournaments on like a Monday night, and which I'm not excited about it being on Mondays, but or whatever nights they do it. But yeah, just to get the girls good quality matches.
And I think it's hard too because, like you said, sometimes the teams aren't full, so you could have the lower weights, and then the other team that you're wrestling has the higher weights, and so yeah.
You just trade forfeits.
Yeah. It's like, oh, good, we drove 20 minutes to do this. All right. So, yeah. But, yeah, it makes another night of busyness for people.
And late nights for high school kids.
Yeah. But I am excited to see women's wrestling, girls wrestling, expanding in the state. I think that's good.
Yep, I think so, too.
3 seconds left on the clock here for this first period.
There's an escape at the end for Trey.
Yep. So 6-3, I think, is what they'll give him here.
Yep, should be. I don't know why he let him up at
the end.
Yeah, wouldn't be my advice.
Yeah, just let the time run out.
Yeah, no reason to give him up a point.
54-23 is the second period. Just gets started here.
I don't think Trey likes the hands to the head.
I think so.
I think that Glendenning knows something that. So Trey, we got to get back up to our base and find a way to squirt out.
And Trey, a first-time wrestler last year. I think he's come a long way.
I think so, yeah.
And so he's learned some new things. And again, gotten taller and even more muscular. Oh, good roll.
There we go. Good job. That was a good feel. Oh my.
Throw.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, that was.
So if you take a kid or if you take your opponent off the mat, you have to return them, obviously.
Right.
And you're, you're responsible for them. So so you don't do
Careful
it like that.
how you do it. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you're not doing it to make friends, but you can't do that.
Right. Can't throw them down on the top of their head, basically.
Yeah,
that would be bad. And good for the safety of the wrestler. That was a quick over for the.
Well, yeah, so he chose an optional start, but then dove right in on that cradle.
Yep. Oh, there you got him.
Yeah, that's a tough.
It's a tough position as quickly as it came. So Trey did a nice job, though, fighting. Hopefully take care of some of his nose. Oh, they need his. It's like, what are they asking for? So that'll call the match, or that'll finish out the match. As we started at 150, so teams will shake hands. We'll take a word from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're planning to see Waco versus Notre Dame. So, we'll be back in just a bit.
Anyone serious about lawn care knows it starts with two things: the expertise and the equipment to do the job right. Egley Landscapes is the only local company that provides expert lawn care and landscaping. Let the experts with the equipment from Egley's pay a visit to your lawn. Our horticulturists have the knowledge to guide you through a lawn care plan, and they won't sell you services you don't need. Egley Landscapes has the knowledge and expertise you can trust to revitalize the landscape of your home or commercial property. Egley Landscapes. Check us out online at egleylandscapes.com.
The culture at West Liberty Foods, it really is doing the right thing, even when people aren't watching you.
Our principles are set based on a farmer mentality, and that's hardworking, that's community-based, and being good stewards of the land. It's being loyal to your team, it's taking care of your team.
I think as an organization, that's another thing that makes West Liberty Foods really successful, is that commitment to others.
Find your next career at West Liberty Foods. Visit careers.wlfoods.com.
Warren Plumbing and Heating are your local experts, and we're more than just plumbers. As a family-owned and established business, we know what it means to give good service. Our plumbers are highly skilled and ready to tackle anything you need. We've been serving communities around Iowa for 5 years now, and there's no sign of us slowing down. We love what we do, and we're happy to help. Give us a call at 319-591-1551.
What if the answer to powering a purer world, our world, was shining down on us this whole time? All we have to do is unleash its infinite power. Our goal here at EPO Energy is to unleash the infinite power of the sun. At EPO Energy, we make solar energy the better solution. EPO Energy, unleash the power.
WYAA. This is more than just a game. It's a journey of growth, friendship, and triumph. Join us as we celebrate the spirit of youth sports, where every sprint, kick, and cheer is a step towards greatness. Together, we're not just playing a game, we're shaping futures. Unleash your potential, ignite the fire within, because in this arena, legends are born. This is more than a team. It's a family.
All right.
We got a forfeit from 165.
Yep. So now we're back. Yep. So not Mediapolis, Waco and Notre Dame will take over. And the first one there at 165. Is that what you said? They're starting at 165?
They did, and we gave a forfeit.
Okay. Which Braden Stafford, I don't think he's here tonight.
Yeah, I don't see him.
So yeah, that would make sense. He's not here tonight. So
Instead of throwing Silas out there.
right.
So here's Brock.
Yep, Brock back on the mat.
Just gave up a takedown. And we're fighting. Oh, he's rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Good job of rolling through there.
Mm-hmm. And the kid that Brock is wrestling, this Juan Geronimo, I think is his name. He's a junior, so obviously has some years on him and probably somebody that's spent a lot of time on a mat as well. And hopefully what Brock will get to with the strength there that he's got on him. So Brock doing a good job, though, fighting against him.
He's losing in the last name category, too. Be awesome to have Geronimo for your last name.
Just to say it.
Yeah.
So 2-0 the Notre Dame lead here.
Brock's fighting, but
it's not going to let him roll easily back there.
Nope. Got 50 seconds to go.
Nope. Got him.
That's tough as a freshman, and that's part of it being an upper weight class freshman.
Right.
If you can be in the 130s or 120s, and you can still wrestle a senior, but it's a little different, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. So a quick 12-0 lead for Notre Dame with the first forfeit there. But we will move on to 190 here. So Loudenhausen gave back on the mat. He'll take on Ian Vanderstrom.
So this will be a good match for Loudon.
Mm-hmm. Again, Notre Dame coached by Bill Pleen, longtime coach in the area. I think he's coached for 40 years.
For a long time.
If not more.
Yeah. I'm not sure who the assistant is.
I don't know who that one is. Nope.
I'm sure everybody else does.
Probably.
So Loudon's not doing the typical take him down fighting or let him up. Looks
like he's moving, making his move.
Yep, he's trying to pin this guy, and he looks like he's got it done.
He's got
Get down there.
Oh, and he does. He's got it. There we go. So make light word of that. And I could see if Loudon hasn't been feeling well, okay, I'm not going to mess around. I just want to take my chances of maybe not coming out of this. So makes easy work of that. 12-6 now the scores. We move to the 215 bracket. John Stauffer.
Tommy Underner.
Oh, yep.
215 should be.
215, yep.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that was John.
Yep, there we go. Yep, Unternow. in the world we live in, I don't know why we don't have the little enunciation thing.
Right.
You know,
the phonetic spelling of it.
Yeah.
I know when Coach Edeker would send his announcements or with his lineups, a lot of times he would have the phonetic spelling, and they would still mess up Housengate, but that's okay.
That's tough.
So Tommy out to a little bit better start here. Staying low, which I think would be hard. As a taller guy, that would be hard. Like Loudon, that's hard to stay low on that, I think.
Well, it's just you're just being in the athletic stance, right? So
I guess as a football player, it's probably the same kind of stance. Yep.
You know, defense on basketball.
Right.
You know, even really defense in soccer.
Well, and even in baseball and all that. Yeah.
Yep. Just get down. Like Duggar would say from Forrest Gump, get down, shut up.
Oh, Duggar.
Yep.
Tommy doing a good job here.
Yep, Tommy, you know, he just wants to find a move that works, you know.
Yep.
And so he just has to find something that he likes, find something that works for him, and
that he's comfortable with, like you said. Yep.
Justin Garvey from New London won state off of one takedown.
Really?
Yeah. He had one escape that he did. He would do a sit out, and then one takedown. I think it was like a high crotch into a from being tied up into a high crotch into it. It was just so smooth. Yeah. It was one move.
I will say Justin Garvey was fun to watch wrestle.
Oh, for sure.
And now I think he was coaching up at Mid Prairie, so I don't know if he still is.
His son and daughter were
wrestling,
good wrestlers. Yep. I remember talking with him after football, his senior year, and I asked him, I was like, "What do you weigh?" And he's like, "Oh, like 230," and he was wrestling 189. Yeah. And I was like, "Are you gonna make it down there?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." And so
says you, who used to drop all the way down.
Yeah. And so he wrestled heavyweight the first. He won the Jeremy Folk tournament of the
New London's tournament.
The first tournament of the year as heavyweight, and the next week he was down to 189. So
which some of that has probably changed since you and Jeremy or Justin Garvey were in school. Yep. Oh, keep your neck up, Tommy. There we go.
Yep, keep fighting.
They won it. Oh, time will expire here in the first period, so 5-0 will be the lead for Notre Dame. Tommy will get another chance at it. I call him Thomas because that's how he's on my roster at school.
Yep.
So
I'm sure he doesn't mind.
I'm sure. You know, he often wears a hat to school. So to see how much hair he has, it's kind of shocking right now. I'm a little bit enthralled by this. I'm going to have to tell him that on Monday when I see him.
Tell him he looks like a Q-tip. Or Sideshow Bob.
He might not like that very much. Yeah.
What do I'm not sure what we got going here. Looks like, I wonder if we had the wrong color, you know, for the.
Oh, for the flip.
Yep.
I think wrestling is a good sport for Tommy. I think it's a good way for him.
I do too.
You know, he's just able to use his size to his advantage.
Yep. And he's wrestling other people his size.
Yep.
You know, so like it's a humbling experience. It's, you know, you learn a lot about yourself. You know.
And as a freshman, I think he'll continue to grow and learn into that. So, the Notre Dame wrestler, whose name I'm not going to try to. I will just make a mess of it, so I'm not even going to try. Yeah. Yusuf is his first name. He's a junior, so.
Yeah.
And a strong wrestler.
Yeah, he's a well-built kid. Mm-hmm. That 215 class I like it. You know, we have a lot of classes in wrestling now, but, you know, before it was, like when we were in school, it was 189 and then 260, you know.
That's a big jump.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah.
And so, you know, now, you know, 189 is essentially 190. Mm-hmm. And then I remember Missouri had the 215 class before we did.
Okay.
Or they might have had 220. And so yeah, there's a lot of kids that, you know, fit that size.
Right.
So I would think there'd be more 215 pounders in 106.
Right. And I would think too, with some of the changes that they've made for the set plans and the weight loss that you can't go, you know, some of that's got to change and it developed with that. So. Yep. Waco fans trying to give Thomas some advice from up on the stands here.
Skylar's always got good advice.
So Thomas going to fall in that one, but good fight. I feel like good fight for him.
It stinks, you know. I'm sure, you know, Tommy wants to win.
Yeah.
But you know, I always say, like in wrestling, you either got to be bigger, stronger, or more technical. You know. And then Tommy's class right there, the kid probably had him beat in 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 3 out of the 3. You know, so like, it's tough. It's tough. Like, if you're wrestling an upperclassman that has more experience, that's probably been in the gym longer, like it's just that's a tough draw.
I do like that after each match, the kids have come over and had a conversation with Coach Pugh about what you know, and Coach Pugh not just letting them walk off the mat mad. So now we've got John Stauffer on the mat at 285, trying to make a throw here,
trying that headlock again.
Yeah. Oh. I say no. Is that because he lost that on the way down? He didn't have control on the way down.
He just he just got a little too high.
Yep.
But John makes it work.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get it on him. So they're doing this body lock, and it's just a crank. You gotta let go.
Just got it too high. Yep. So a takedown for Green there. Notre Dame will get 2.
The two. Thomas goes by Thomas, says my wife. But here we go. Go spin, Tommy. Or John. Yep.
So under a minute here for John. He's got to get his head out.
So let's get our head out. So a lot of times, you know, the heavyweights, you know, they'll get like in those body locks where it's like a double under, or you know, like a side, you're like 1 over, 1 under.
Yep.
And it's just like, when I see that, it's like seeing a grenade that's ready to pop off, because you know, like somebody's like right here. See this? They got twin over unders.
Yep.
Somebody's going to their back. Yep. But and right there, they just made a liar out of me. But a lot of times,
there it goes.
There it goes.
Yep. He's counting. Oh, and they're gonna get it.
A lot of times they'll like load up, lower their level, and then somebody's just getting this mega hip toss and just bam. You know, it looks like it's wild seeing, you know, 250 pounds get tossed.
John again with the bro hug though at the end. He's not going to get away without that one.
He loves it. You know, you were
I
saying.
love his spirit though. What he brings to it. Yeah.
Oh, he's great kid. But we were saying about their talk with Pugh, right?
Yep.
And I think that, you know, Pugh doesn't, you know, he's a quieter coach than a lot of them, and then Gil especially. But I think the respect level is just through the roof.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. And it seems like in most cases he's given him something. This is what I saw, so you need to change that. You know, work on this kind of thing. So Hagen Pearson now on the mat at 106 with Colt Boyles, and Colt quickly into some sort of a headlock. I don't even know what to call that. And again, just the inexperience for Hagen here. Squeezing that arm up by his chin.
Another thing about Pugh, like I've always heard this thing that it seems like the guys that don't talk a lot get listened to the most.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You know, when he actually is talking to you, it's because he, you know, has information that you need to hear.
Yep. Yep.
There's a little mock Sterna coming up the stairs.
I missed her. Is she in Griff's class?
Boy, right there, Mox.
Oh yeah, Is he in
Nope, right
Griffin's
there.
class? Okay.
Nope, he's in 2nd grade.
2nd grade, okay.
So he's a little fun, little firecracker in the wrestling room. Here's Gage again.
Yep. 113.
Yep, this will be a match for him. Carter West, senior.
Yep. So 2 seniors on the mat. Probably 2 seniors that have seen a lot of mat time, as you said, and 2 seniors that have both competed at the high levels.
Yep. Gage is a junior, so.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Duh.
Yep. But yeah, you're exactly right. I'm sure these kids have seen each other in Pee-wees for 10 years.
Right. Notre Dame with a quick 2 points on the takedown there. Gage able to get away, get 1.
So Gage did something smart there. Like, as soon as he knew he was free, he trotted out. Because a lot of times, especially like these guys that are quick and good, when they think that you're not paying attention, they're coming.
They're going to get you.
Yep.
Grab that foot again. Gage has a good hold here.
Yeah, it's kind of
Oh.
Kind of a weird draw.
Yeah. 2 back points.
He was able to get back points, but then gave up the reversal.
Yeah. I think they gave those to the wrong team.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Because
They've got it as 4-1, but I thought those were points for Gage, but maybe I don't know. I don't know enough to know.
I wasn't paying close enough attention. I thought he had him in, kind of I thought he was getting back points because he had him kind of tipped back, but.
Unless they're calling the reversal. The 2 is the reversal.
Yep, that makes
and
sense.
Gage didn't have the back
Control.
points in it. Yep.
Back points.
So 28 seconds here on the clock.
So now they're wanting to call stalling on Gage, or stall warning on Gage.
Yep.
But
does that take a point off, or is it the second time they call it?
Second time. But to Gage's defense, he's
kind of in a weird spot.
So the guy had a Spencer Lee special there where it's like one chicken leg and then a ball and chain they call it. And so, I mean, there's not a lot that you can do without incriminating yourself.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay. 8 seconds on the clock. Notre Dame with a 4-1 lead here.
And that's, a good move by the Notre Dame wrestler to maintain control.
So again at 1:13 here, Notre Dame with a 30-6 lead over Waco. 4-1 in this match, and we start the second period. Go ahead.
The thing that is common, for these wrestlers, they like to do that deferred if their color gets called. And I get it. So you can have the decision in the third period, but it's like why don't you just try to end it in the second? Just
take the advantage right away.
Just get your whatever you're good at, just get it. But I get it. There's a method, and it makes sense. But it always kind of puzzles me. It's like try to win in the second.
Right. So a good shot there for Notre Dame onto the leg, but Gage is holding on tight.
Yep. So these two just kind of keep going like spider monkeys.
I know. Just keep rolling over each other. Spider monkeys. I like that. That's a good definition. So
there's a stalemate again. Yep.
A stalemate, though, is not the same as a caution or a warning.
No,
it's just the two. There's nothing more you can do in this position.
Like that, they both had each other like through the crotch and then around the back, and it's like neither one. They're just. It's hard to improve.
Right.
So.
Gage doing a good job getting out of that. That one he gets his leg caught.
That kid is. That Carter West is quick. He was shooting from all fours.
Yeah. Gage kind of in a tough spot there.
Oh my.
Oh.
That looks potentially dangerous to me.
Just painful to me.
Oh my.
Especially with Gage already with a brace on the one. Oh.
Yeah.
Gage fighting that one off. Keeps rolling through. Good job.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
3 back points for Notre Dame and 2 for a reversal. I'm assuming Gage there with that kind of almost a wheelbarrow move, trying to get him back to his back a little bit.
Yep, I think everybody in the was thinking potentially dangerous there.
Yeah.
At least all the moms were. So Gage gets to be on top for the first time, so we'll see how we can hopefully keep him. Okay, we got
Gonna let him
8
out.
seconds here.
10-3 the time, or the score, excuse me. 2 seconds on the clock. Just gonna ride this one out, looks like, yep. So now you talk as we go to the third period. This is the first third period that we've seen tonight. So now Notre Dame will have the call and the decision here.
So I thought he chose neutral, but Gage went down. So I saw the coaches pick neutral, but.
I said I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Trying to get an escape out of there, maybe, I don't know.
Yep, so he's on his base. The West kid's riding heavy. He's got that shoulder pressure. He's So it's tough to do from bottom, but yeah, you got to do just what Gage did, get back to your base, and then you just got to hit a move, and just start moving and
try to get something out of it.
Yep. So it looks like the West kid's looking for that tilt again. Got a chicken wing in there, and
Gage doing a good job keeping that arm down, though. That side of his body down.
Yep, those chicken wings are just so tough because once they're in there, it's so hard to get your arm back.
Yep.
So there he's got it.
Coach Pugh not happy
Pugh
about
was
something
not
there.
happy.
Potentially dangerous, is that what he was saying?
Yep, I don't think our I don't think the Waco crowd is happy about that. Or Pugh.
Yeah.
And you don't hear Pugh.
Right, you don't hear him yell very often.
Yep.
I could hear him on that one.
Yep, with headphones on.
Yeah, that's right. So Notre Dame 36-6 at 120. That's our open class. So they'll get a forfeit on that one. Go to 42-6. Now on the mat will be at 126, John McLaughlin. Face off against C.J. Davis. I think is who that is.
Yep, looks like it.
And C.J. Davis has been at Notre Dame for a couple of years now. Another strong wrestler. I've seen a lot of time on the mat. This could be a good matchup. I'm anxious to see this.
Is he from the Burlington area? Are you familiar with him?
I think so. I mean, yeah, he's been at Notre Dame for the past at least 3 years that I can remember. And even as a freshman was just a spry little doing that kind of stuff.
Yep,
just shooting all over the place. I think he's jumped up in weight. He's probably had to.
Yep. So try to drag by, but John. Yep.
Roll right over on that one. So 2 on that. And C.J. Davis, obviously somebody that's seen a lot of time at the state tournament as well.
So John, just have to focus, wrestle your match, play defense. Got that takedown.
2-1. They're going to give John one again. 4-2.
There you go, John.
Takedown. You can control it. Oh,
yep.
Nope.
I thought he had him caught on the way down.
I did too.
Looks like got a cradle hooked up, so we need to kick, straighten your leg.
He's going to get him. So just under a minute there with a pin. 48-6 now. Like I said, C.J. Davis, he's a solid wrestler. I think that's all he does.
Yep, I'm sure.
Spends a lot of time, like you said, at DC Elite down there in Burlington.
So 2 Cadens here, probably.
Dietzenbach,
yep. Well, I'm glad they didn't mess the Liechty name up.
Yeah.
Caden might have some sisters watching.
That's right.
They got, I think, 2 nurses in the family. Well, 3 with mom. So.
Yeah.
Taylor.
Both older sisters are nurses?
Yep.
Okay. And his younger sister, Morgan.
Yep.
She's a sophomore.
She's nurse in training.
I don't know if she'd say that.
I know, yeah. I got to watch them dance at state. Madison was up on that team.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I always enjoyed going to state. I would go up with the dance team a couple times when I was at Wapello, and it's just fun.
Yep, I think
Caden trying to pull that head up, and they're going to get him. So, and I think there's just a case for Caden where just a little bit of an inexperience on the mat, not sure how to get out of that or keep yourself out of that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Again, they can be the same strength,
right?
And the kid can just have 5-10 years experience on him.
Right.
Deacon Bird.
138.
Yep, and this is,
Cole Meitzer, though, he's at 144, so they must have bumped him down. Or he's working his way down, maybe. I think he called him Cole Meitzer.
Yeah. Well, they might have said the wrong name, too.
That's true.
Probably. Well, 144. Oh, yeah, Deacon. Yeah. Probably Cale Cook, I would think. But, you'd think they would know.
And I don't know how much wiggle room they have from day to day. You know, if it's like, okay, we get here and we don't want him to wrestle him, so we're going to bump him this direction. How much they have, because the 2-pound exception doesn't start until after Christmas, right?
Yep, yep. I would say, you normally you want to give yourself options way as low as you can, so then you can always bump up. But I did listen to a podcast with Kurt Angle.
Yep.
It was on Joe Rogan.
Yep.
And he was a state champion, I'm sure state champion in high school, but then NCAA champion. And he, as a heavyweight, but he only weighed, I think the next weight class was like 190 or 195, and he weighed like 196.
So right above.
Yeah, he just didn't want to. He didn't want to cut that pound.
Right.
And he's like,
I can do it here.
Yeah. And then in the Olympics, he did the same thing. He wrestled heavyweight and with a broken neck, but he was like right at the. He could have easily just lost the 2 pounds, but.
Right. Which I would think he would lose in a room anyway.
Yeah. But he's like, I just wanted to eat I wanted to eat healthy. I wanted to eat what I wanted. And
right.
So, yeah, that's I've never heard of. I've never heard of that. So,
when you're so close.
Yeah, being an Olympic champion.
Yeah.
He could be giving up 50 pounds, 60 pounds.
Right.
Right.
But if your technique is right, I think that's a case where, again, wrestling is kind of a unique sport. If you've got the technique, sometimes you think, oh, they look bigger or stronger, but if the technique is better on the other side. So Deacon thought he was in a little bit of trouble. Maybe not as much as I thought, but
he's got it
working on it.
Looks like he's got that chicken wing on the left side.
Oh, okay. Oh, yep, you're right.
So now he's just trying to figure out how he wants to
try to roll him over on that side.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a tough spot. Oh, he got an arm free, so now he can
push up a little bit.
Yep, if he can.
Oh, hold out.
I think he was stuck, but.
So 3 back points awarded to Notre Dame there.
Being that he's on our side, he was not stuck.
Right.
So.
Staying up. So into the second period, Notre Dame with a 54-6 lead.
Does the Mohawk change colors? When you see him in the halls?
It's been pretty blue. It's been pretty blue, so I think that's a consistent blue.
There you go.
Maybe I'll suggest that after Christmas, maybe go to a white or a navy. He could do black, match the uniform.
Yep.
During cross country, he had it actually sticking straight up. So
really?
It was longer, and he had it sticking straight up. So
you got to have confidence.
That's right.
So you just got to get freed up. That chicken wing is hard to get. Like we said, it's hard to get your arm back free, and it can look like stalling from bottom. I think some of the crowd is wanting that, but what do you want him to do? Like
he's trying to keep that base.
Right there. He did a real good job.
There he did call stalemate.
How is that a stalemate? He was improving his position. He was. He got his
he got his arm out.
To me, that is not a stalemate. But I'm not the ref. If anything, it gives him a chance. Like right now, that kid's working for the same thing.
Yep. So Deacon's just got to try to get that arm back out.
Yep.
And that one arm out front, like you said, on his base.
Yep.
To his base almost. Don't let him get too high on you.
If anything, the ref did him a favor.
Yep. Under a minute here in the second period. First period.
Second.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Second.
So there he just got hit with. Oh, okay. He was trying to hit the top guy for stalling.
Yep.
A stall warning, which.
Just wasn't moving enough?
I
guess.
I mean, he's.
So there he let up you still have the chicken wing. Nobody still got the chicken wing.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get how this one's getting called. But I don't want to do it, so he's doing a fine job.
That's all right. So. Just don't make me go down there.
Yep. So, Deacon, we got to keep our belly down.
15 seconds here, under 15 seconds.
Get that arm free if you can. So you don't want that right there. You don't want that
too
top.
High on
you don't want the top guy to grab that arm.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Deacon survives. Yep.
Deacon's fighting a tough fight.
He is. Survived on that one. You know, these periods are only 2 minutes long, but it is an intense
It's a
2
tough
minutes.
2 minutes. Yep.
It's a very intense 2 minutes. I think I'd be dead after 30 seconds, just for the record.
Derek Campbell came in the room when we were in school. And,
Yep.
you know, it was just a normal like Wednesday night or whatever, and he was just gassed.
Right.
You know.
And Derek played basketball,
I know,
so he
yeah,
would have
exactly.
been in condition a little bit.
And he was a phenomenal runner.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I mean, he just messed around with us for like minutes, and he's just like, I can't do it.
He's like, I'm out.
Yep.
So Deacon now getting a little bit of advantage here, trying to get the same.
Yep.
Looks like.
Let's get him on his
Control
belly.
those wrists.
Yep.
Yep.
There we go.
Oh, almost had a chicken wing on it.
I'd like to see him get him down to his belly before he starts trying to turn him.
For the arms.
Yeah. Because sometimes, just like that,
Like that.
if you're just too high, you know, it's easy to get out of position.
So the reversal for Notre Dame gives them a 7-0 lead here. Minute 20 on the clock.
So it looks like he's going to cut him free.
Yep, let him up. Start over, so to speak.
So let's go, Deacon. Let's pick a move that you want.
Get something.
So a minute to go in the third period.
You can tell they're just exhausted. It
Yeah,
looks like to me. They're just both kind of dragging, it seems.
Yep, they fought hard. So let's see here.
So locking heads like that, when you try to grab their head and try to lock in like that, what advantage does that give you, or what's the thought process on that?
You can be that close and have some control.
Okay.
You know, so you can.
Some more just controlling it.
You cup the back of the neck like a shepherd's hook.
Okay.
And so you can apply pressure. If you're pulling down and they want to stand up, now you can attack their legs. Right. It's just a variation of how to be that close to each other and there's just a whole slew of moves from there.
Like you said, you're in control then. You can kind of do more.
But you can get taken down in the blink of an eye, you know. So yeah, you can be in control and then be on your back in no time.
A heartbeat.
Yep.
So Deacon, a good match there. Went all 3 periods. At 138, came up short, but a good fight on that one. 58-6. Notre Dame leads here as we move into the 144 category. So again, Lane Bachman will take the mat. Anxious to see here who they call up. Yes. On the roster, it should be Cole Meinzer.
144 for Waco, Lane Bachman. For Burlington, Notre Dame,
Cale Cook. So it's almost like they switched. At 138-44, it looks like they moved around a little bit. So
yeah, could be.
It's all right. So Lane quickly out of that gun.
It's another real low wrestler. Went then shot in for
took his head.
a top head, front headlock, and was able to spin around.
Get the easy quick 2 there.
Yep. So it looks like we had a cradle locked up for a hot minute.
Yep. Gonna let him up now. Give him a point. So it'll be 2-1. Lane trying to match his level there, it looks like.
Yeah, and I wouldn't recommend that.
Because that's what happens.
Yep.
Yep.
The Notre Dame kid, just probably does it all the time, and then kind of like what I was saying earlier, where if you're normally in one style of match, and then now you're getting thrown a wild card, and you start matching it, you're just at a disadvantage. So, just like Sterling Rex would always say, just wrestle your match,
right?
And just
don't let them control it.
Yep. And it's so hard. It's way easier said than done, but whatever you like to do, then work towards that move.
Lane getting the pin against him there. 64-6. Notre Dame win with the lead. What did we start at? 65? 57.
It would have been 65 because we had a
2 more. Trey Edeker onto the mat now. And they're going to wrestle Blake Wilson at 150 instead of 157 here. So Blake, a former Morning Sun kid, transferred down to Notre Dame before his freshman year. Trey quickly to the mat. Blake, another kid that spent a lot of time on the mat.
Yep. Morning Sun.
Yeah.
Long lineage there.
Yeah. Got his arm.
Siegel was a Morning Sunner too.
Yep. Brock looks like trying to grab Trey's arm.
Yep.
Across his body.
Now he's going to
control that.
Roll him back.
Yep. Which doesn't give you a whole lot of time.
No, it's tough.
What are you supposed to do when your arm's all the way pinned behind your back? So.
Yeah, exactly.
So Trey, nice job trying to get out of it.
Oh, that's the second time for Trey.
Yeah.
Gosh.
He's a tough kid. He's got older brothers.
I know. I don't see a kick me sign on his back.
Right.
Isn't he? He got turned down hard last time too, didn't he?
Yes.
Wasn't he the one? Yeah. It's like, my goodness.
He's kind of fell a little bit weird on his head, I thought. So.
Yeah. We're lucky he doesn't, pop that collarbone out because it looks like he's landing on his shoulder and like driving it into the mat.
That one almost looked like it drove right back into his ribs. So.
Yeah, it's tough.
So 2-1, the score. Under a minute here in the first period. Blake Wilson on the top side here, tries to roll around, controlling that right arm. Just like trying to get into that cradle.
Yeah, it's a
weird angle, but
kind of a cross-face cradle or near side cradle. But
yep, the official says there's nothing really happening here, so straight up. He's an explosive wrestler. Yeah. And a wrestler that I think, at least in his freshman year, I'm not sure about last year, but had a little trouble with some injuries. So he's probably kind of not seen a lot of time necessarily at state, but a lot of time on the mat. Yeah, a lot of time on the mat.
Trying to make a name for himself.
Yep. Trey doing a nice job fighting, though. 2-1 still. 6 seconds on the clock. Right out the period here.
So this is a tough, it's a tough thing for Trey to get some momentum. He just has to pick something that works that, you get a little bit of a hedge.
Trey checking. Still has that plug stuff in his nose. Yeah. Trey doing a nice job fighting, though.
So it's tough to not, give in, like that kid right away knew what he wanted, and so that's tough for Trey. Trey was, sizing him up and thinking, what move can I hit? And then the kid just comes in with a hard forearm across the back and just, knows exactly what he wants to do. So it's just, we're just at a little bit of a disadvantage experience-wise.
And I think for Trey, too, just being pretty fresh onto the mat.
Yep.
He's still thinking what he's doing, and Wilson knows what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's flowing.
Oh, and he goes to the pin. So that pin, it just has to be a quick touch. Is that? It's just a touch of both shoulder blades down. Is that what?
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't have to be 3 seconds like WWF. Or,
WWE.
Yeah.
Have to bring out the chair and smash it over there. Thank goodness, man.
Yeah, it's not like the 1, 2, 3 count. It's just as soon as it happens, just.
The touch is there.
Yep.
All right.
And it's so weird, because the shoulder blade, it's not like, because it can look like the shoulders are off the mat, but if it's think of where the shoulder blades start, so you can kind of get, you can kind of get.
Yeah.
And it's, it's the one person's opinion too. So.
Right. So Kale's Weir on the mat now at 175. Should round out the night here for the Warriors.
So here's the difference, right? So Kale's,
excuse me, 157, not 175.
He's wrestling more aggressive, and so he's got a little more mat time, and he's just trying to make it. Oh, but we're kind of stacked up, and he was stuck there, but he's our wrestler, so he was not stuck.
That's right. We don't want him to be.
Yeah, we're not complaining. Good job, Kale.
Off the mat?
Off the mat.
Yeah.
We live to fight a little bit here. good for us that the ref was a little slow getting around.
Kale doing a nice job trying to get out of that right away. Wasn't going to sit and let him do whatever he needed to do.
Yep.
We had to fire out of there.
Explode on the whistle.
Yep.
At the conclusion of this match.
So we're just kind of getting manhandled here a little bit, but we're fighting. He's bridging. He's doing a great job bridging. Fight, fight, fight. Fight, fight, fight. He's bridging.
That was a good bridge. Yeah.
But yeah.
They're going to give it to him. Yep.
You can only hold yourself up with your neck, like
a certain amount of time. Yep.
Yep. It's Yep, that clock runs out.
Yep. So Notre Dame will take this one 76-6. But I think some good things for the Warriors in these past two matches. Good teams that they faced on both ends, Mediapolis and Notre Dame. Some good takeaways. Like we said, every time after the match, they would go over and talk to Coach Pugh.
Yep.
And maybe see some things where they can improve. And I'm sure tomorrow they'll hit it hard in the wrestling room again.
Yep, get ready for Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, they're probably two of the best teams in our conference, in Southeast Iowa here. So,
but I would think Notre Dame, especially because of the teams that they combined with.
Yep.
Being Burlington and Notre Dame.
And pulling kids from Mount Pleasant.
Yes, and
Lawrence,
I think. Well, at one point, Danville was even in with them, so I think that would push them into the 3A category.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
And Mediapolis maybe in the 2A. I'm not sure. So it's not a team that I think we would see again at.
Well, I think
at districts and regionals.
I think they can keep their enrollment low enough, though. I know what you're saying, but like, it seems like Burlington Notre Dame is always just right in our competition for wrestling, and I always think like a private school should bump up a class anyway, but
maybe Notre Dame or maybe Danville's not with them anymore. I don't know. So
because
that would
they are
pushed
listed
them off.
though.
So I would think that would push them. Well, in West Burlington, I think that would push them into one of the higher classes.
Yeah, you'd think.
Because the hard part about sharing with another school, and this is what we run into sometimes, when you share with another school, you might get 2 or 3 kids, but you have to count their entire, they call them beds numbers. So it's all the kids that they count in there. So like for Waco, our beds numbers are just under 120. So when we share like with Columbus for softball, Columbus can absorb our numbers, and it doesn't push them into another class. But like if we shared with Mediapolis, or if we shared with like Winfield, being right at the same, that would probably bump us into a different class. So it's a little bit of a trick, and I think
hopefully
if Daniel's still with it,
yeah.
I think it's going to keep them right there at that
at
that upper echelon. So for us, come tournament time.
I know, like in 5th and 6th grade tackle football.
Yep.
So New London was still 8-man. Even they petitioned to stay 8-man.
Yep.
But I don't know why the 5th and 6th. So like we had 16 kids out, I think, at the start, and so maybe 17. And so, but New London on their side, they probably had 30.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
And so.
Yep.
So even though we're playing in the same, like you can petition to be 8-man in high school, that doesn't mean that there aren't 30 kids compared to
coming in. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so.
And I would think, I mean, with the subtractor that they have now for the football.
Yep, I've heard about that.
It's a kind of a crazy convoluted. You have to be almost like Chad Ediger. It's a good thing Chad is our AD math, because he can do the math that goes with that, and I think that's what has kept New London at the high school level, has kept them in that 8-man category as well, and they can petition to stay down there. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird. It's weird, but I think a good night for the Warriors. So let me ask you this: Do you stay and finish up the meet, or do you say we're done, Waco's done, we're gonna?
Yeah, we're here for Waco.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought, but I didn't want to call it too soon. So knowing that from that perspective, we want to thank our sponsors once again for their sponsorship for tonight's Warrior Cast, and it's been fun for me anyway. For Mike, it's been, like I said, I'm not a big knowledgeable about wrestling, but a good night of learning for me. And so we thank you for tuning in. We are going to sign off, and we will be back in action for basketball tomorrow night at Hillcrest, and then as you said, Waco will go to a wrestling tournament on Saturday, and so it'll be next week probably again before wrestling gets covered again. Looks like they're honoring their youth wrestlers here tonight.
Peewees, yeah.
So there's a lot of them.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Warrior Cast. Again, I'm Michelle Wade, and sitting with me is Mike Miller, and you'll catch Mike probably again in the future. And Jeremy will be back, so you'll be more knowledge than I have. So
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.